Hi, so today I'm going to be presenting about physician-assisted suicide. So basically what it is that a physician would give his or her patient pills that the patient would take, which would end up killing them. So the patient would be doing the final act of killing and not the physician. Some sort of window to your right. Many people argue that physician-assisted suicide should be legal or illegal, but in this case, I think that physician-assisted suicide should be a choice that should be left up to the decision of the Christian physician based on what his or her beliefs are. So let's say that a doctor told his patient that he wouldn't perform physician-assisted suicide because of his religious beliefs.
Doctor, I don't want my final days to be spent in pain. I want to die on my own accord, and I want to die surrounded by the people I love. Please don't make me just sit here and lay here and get sicker and sicker.
Well, there's something that we could do. It's called physician-assisted suicide, and basically someone would give you pills, that your doctor would give you pills, and then you would take them, and that would speed up the process of you dying. But unfortunately, it's against my religious beliefs as a Christian physician, so I can either give you a referral or we can explore more treatments. So the question is, would the patient have a right to be upset, or is it up to the physician to actually be able to refuse performing physician-assisted suicide based on his or her religion? So I would say no for several reasons, that the patient shouldn't have a right to be upset. So for the first reason why the patient shouldn't be upset with the physician for refusing to perform physician-assisted suicide is because the founding fathers fought for life, liberty, and property. They didn't fight for dying or aiding in their patient's suicide. So, and that was listed in the Declaration of Independence, that we should fight for life and not death. Or he'll say he's just not the same. The second reason why the patient shouldn't be upset with the doctor is that the doctor has a job description, and that job description doesn't involve killing their patients. They're supposed to be helping their patients and making them have a good life and a fulfilled life, a healthy life, and that's just not part of what a doctor's supposed to do. A doctor's not supposed to help kill their patients or give them pills that would kill them. The third reason why the patient shouldn't be upset with the doctor is that maybe the doctor doesn't like the idea of physician-assisted suicide based on who it will be available to. Poor people will be more apt to choose this option because they won't be able to pay for their medical bills, so they're going to want to commit suicide in the hospital rather than face their medical bills and get extra help with their health. And the reason why the doctor should be able to refuse to perform physician-assisted suicide in this case is that it would challenge this idea, because although it would be offered to everyone, people with less money will be more apt to choose this option, and the Christian ethic values the poor, and the challenge of Christianity basically lies in the inclusion and protection of the poor and the excluded. The fourth reason why the patient shouldn't be upset with the physician is that the termination of life, whether one's own or that of another, is only permissible in the most restrictive circumstances, and those circumstances exclude euthanasia. And euthanasia and physician-assisted suicide goes hand in hand. It's just based off of who does the final act of killing. And the Christian religion is against suicide and killing, which is why the doctors should refuse assisting a patient in dying. And the choice should be up to the doctor and not the government officials who make up the policy about this type of stuff. The fifth and the final reason why the patient shouldn't be upset with the doctor for refusing to perform physician-assisted suicide is that it's part of the doctor's right to religious freedom to be able to refuse to perform something that completely goes against the doctor's religious beliefs. So Thomas Jefferson and James Madison both believed in establishing religious freedom, And in the book that we read in class, Harris and Kidd discussed the bill for establishing religious freedom created by Jefferson. Madison took over this cause while Jefferson was serving as a diplomatic minister to Paris, and in the bill, Jefferson wrote, "Be it therefore enacted that no man shall be compelled to frequent or support any religious worship, place, or minister whatsoever, nor shall he be enforced, restrained, molested, or burdened in his body or goods, nor shall otherwise suffer on account of his religious opinions or belief, but that all men shall be free to profess, and by argument to maintain their opinions in matter of religion, and that the same shall in no wise diminish, enlarge, or affect their civil capacities." So Jefferson wanted every individual in the U.S. to be free to express his or her religious beliefs without opposition from the government or from other individuals. And today, I believe that a doctor should be able to express his or her religious beliefs, and that's related to how they should be able to refuse to perform physician-assisted suicide, which goes against their religious beliefs. Now, if you're wondering how does this tie more into what the Founding Fathers believed, most of the Founding Fathers fought for religious freedom, like Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, and I believe that allowing a doctor the right to refuse performing a procedure that goes against his or her religious beliefs is a very strong form of religious freedom. The Founding Fathers also wanted people to be able to express their religion in whatever way they see fit, as long as that religion doesn't harm anyone, and saving a life rather than aiding in the death of that life isn't physically harming. In the end, I believe that the choice whether or not to perform this procedure, this act, should be left up to the decision of the doctor and not by anybody else, not by government officials who make policy about this stuff, but it should be up to the choice of the doctor, because people shouldn't be forced into doing something that goes against their religious beliefs. Even though the doctor wouldn't actually be doing the final act of killing, the patient would be, and the doctor is giving the patient pills that would actually do the act. So even though they're not actually physically killing them, they're still giving them the things that would kill them. So overall, government officials who are in charge of policy regarding physician-assisted suicide should leave the decision whether or not to perform this up to the physician.